The question we were looking at today is, when do you stop being a reporter and start saying, whoa, this is way too dangerous, I need to get out of here? And I think every reporter probably has their own opinion on exactly what time that is. I've had a couple of situations over the years where I've had to make that call for myself. Last July, when they were having the Occupy City Hall protests, I covered a bunch of days down there. And on one of the last days I covered down there, things had changed. The people that were there had changed. There was kind of like a life cycle to the kind of people that were protesting. Like in the beginning, there were a lot of idealistic young people who were very principled and very starry-eyed and there for good reasons, whether you agreed with them or not. And at the end of all these protests I've seen over the years, it's usually those people kind of filter out, and the people that filter in are criminals for the most part. I mean, a lot of the time. So on the last day that I went down there, the Occupy City Hall protests, I remember I had noticed things had gotten really, really bad. And by the way, a couple of days prior to this, a TV cameraman had gotten physically attacked and thrown on the ground while I was down there. So right after that, I noticed a lot of the journalists kind of pulled back. I probably could have and should have done that myself. I made the decision to go ahead and do my job and be a journalist and roll the dice. And I started off with a pan shot on the corner and started to pan through City Hall Plaza. And as I came around, somebody who was yelling at me to drop the camera started taking swings at me with a 2x4 or some kind of long plank, and didn't just try once, he kept at it until he got me.
Oh, you got that one.
And then after he got me the first time and knocked the camera out of my hand, he hit me in the face a couple of times with the board. At that point, most people are going to make the decision right there. This just got too dangerous. I'm out of here. You know, a lot of smart reporters would have picked up their phone and left. Again, I didn't make that decision. I made the decision to keep reporting. And then I looked up and these guys were like basically coming for me. They were going to finish off the job. And one of the women inside the plaza started yelling at them like she was their boss. Like, get back over here.
Get back in here.
Don't film me.
And they listened to her. They did. They crawled back over the fence and slunk over to where she was. I couldn't believe it. So at that point, they started like kind of following me around as I walked around. And I was like, okay, now I know I'm targeted and I'm going to be attacked again. That's where I made the decision. Okay, I've got all I need for this story. I'm not really, I mean, I can't report on how I was killed. You know what I mean? That's, I guess that's my line right there, is when I realize I'm not going to be around to send in the story that I'm reporting on. I did have to go down to my local precinct. I did have to file a police report, as is your duty, you know, not just as a journalist, but as just a citizen of New York City. You better go file a police report so they know that the person is out there attacking people. If I'm working, I never drop the pad and pen and drop the camera and just put up my fist and go for it. I never, ever do that. We're not sending journalists into the field to fight with people. So I have never done it and never will do it. I've gotten to report on some great stories. I haven't been killed or hurt. I mean, I've gotten a couple of scrapes and bruises and stuff like that in more unfortunate encounters like the one I was just talking about. But if you're going to be a field reporter and you think that nothing is ever going to happen to you, well, then you're probably not pushing it hard enough.